Okay, we have looked at the sum of the interior angles of a triangle being equal to 180. We've looked at it inductively. Each member of the class did it, and we got values that were close to 180. Then we tore off the corners, and each of ours looked like it had a straight line along the end. We went to Geometry Sketchpad and noticed that that was true for every single triangle that we looked at, but looking at lots of examples does not prove anything, because all we need to do is find one example out there that contradicts this, and it blows our theory out of the water. So in order to prove something actually is true, you have to do a deductive proof rather than an inductive proof. You can't just look at lots of examples and draw a conclusion and effectively say it's true. So we're going to look at a way so that we'll know that every single triangle that is produced, that is true. So what I want to do is, I've got a triangle here, and we want to prove that angles, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is equal to 180. To do that, I'm going to show an auxiliary line here. This auxiliary line was constructed so that it is parallel to side CB. Okay? And on any proof, you can draw a line in if it'll help you in the proof. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say that the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 5 is equal to 180. And that's easy to see because you can see around this point these three angles add up to a straight line. That makes them be equal to 180 because 360 is the full circle. Okay, so we'll say that. Next thing we'll say is angle 4 is congruent to angle 3, and angle 5 is congruent to angle 2. You'll recall you just found out that when two lines are parallel and cut by a transversal, alternate interior angles are congruent, is what you should have found in your last activity. Likewise, this transversal, AB, cuts these two parallel lines so that alternate interior angles 5 and 2 are congruent. So next, we will say that the measure of angle 4 is equal to the measure of angle 3. Well, if angle 4 is congruent to angle 3, their measures have to be the same, because that's what the definition of congruent angles says, is that congruent angles have equal measure. Next, we'll say measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is equal to 180. Now, this is what we want to show, and the reason we can say this is because this equation looks exactly like this one, except number 4 has been replaced by 3. Because they're equal, we can do that, and number 5 has been replaced by 2, and we can say that because they are equal. So by substitution, this is true. Now we have shown that no matter what triangle we draw, the sum of the three interior angles is 180 degrees, and that will be true for every triangle that we look at.